Welcome to the Math School by Ifra. In this video, we are going to discuss the gradient of lines. Basically, we will discuss the gradient of parallel lines and gradient of perpendicular line. Gradient of lines. Okay. Now, let's have a look at a line, a straight line. Now, this is a straight line. This is P and this is Q. The P has coordinates x1 and y1 and the point Q has coordinates x2 and y2. Okay, now how do we find the gradient of the line PQ? The gradient of the line is represented as MPQ is given to me as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is how we find the gradient of our line PQ. The gradient of the line PQ is given to me as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, now when we have two lines which are parallel to each other, these are two lines which are parallel to each other, their gradients are equal. So let's suppose the gradient of the line AB is m1 and let's suppose the gradient of the line CD is m2. So the gradient m1 is equal to m2 since the two lines are parallel to each other. So the lines that are parallel to each other have the same gradient. Okay, now what happens when the lines are perpendicular to each other? Now, when the two lines are perpendicular to each other, let's suppose the gradient of this line is m. So the gradient of this line will be minus 1 over m. When two lines are perpendicular to each other, then the product of their gradients m1 and m2 is equal to minus 1. If two lines are perpendicular to each other, if two lines are perpendicular to each other, then the product of the gradients m1 and m2 is equal to minus 1. So this is how we calculate we just discussed how we calculate the gradient of a line. Then we found out that two lines are parallel, their gradients are same. And when two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradients is minus 1. Okay. Now the vertices. The vertices of triangle ABC are A 1 3, B 2 K and C is minus 1 11. Okay, let's move on towards a simpler question. Okay, the coordinates of the 3 points are A minus 6 4, B is given to me as 4 6 and C is given to me as 10 and 7. And find the gradient of AB and the gradient of BC. The gradient of AB will be given to be as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So AB, y2 is it's 6 minus 4 over 4 minus 6. So that is 2 over 10 or 1 over 5 is the gradient of AB. And when we find the gradient of BC, the gradient of BC is given to be as 7 minus 6 over 10 minus 4. So that is equal to 1 over 6. So the gradient of AB is 1 by 5 and the gradient of BC is 1 by 6. Okay. Now let's move on towards another question. Okay, let's suppose we have this point A, B. The coordinates of A are 2, 3 and the coordinates of B are 6 and 8. And there's another line which is perpendicular to it. We have to find the gradient of the line CD which is perpendicular to AB. Okay, so we have to find the gradient of the line CD. First we will find the gradient M. First we will find gradient of M of AB and that is calculated to be as 8 minus 3 over 6 minus 2. that is equal to 5 over 4. And the gradient of CD will be m2. So this is m1. So m1 times m2 is equal to minus 1. So m1 is 5 by 4 times m2 is minus 1. So this implies that gradient m2 of CD is given to be as minus 4 over minus 4. Sorry, let's erase it. That will be is equal to minus 4 over 5. Okay, there's a problem with my stylus. Okay, it's minus 4 over 5. So this is how we calculate the gradient of parallel lines. This is how we learned how to calculate the gradient of parallel lines and perpendicular lines, how to find the gradient of the line. I hope you practice on your own and enjoy, and see you in the next video.